A warm welcome to another episode of the Table Talk Show. We welcome you very much and a big thanks to all our followers, people who keep engaging with all our social media platforms. Thank you very much. And here again, we bring you another hot topic, another question on the table that each and everyone, me inclusive, we are asking ourselves, is it necessary for young people to get involved in the dating scene? Is it necessary for you as the youth who are watching us right now getting involved in the dating scene? I know right now you are like, does Saiba really have to ask us such a question? And then on board I have a very good guest, and that is Ruganyira Amza. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Saiba.
And of course, not forgetting that we are together with Kansiime Pretty, my co-host. Thank you for coming for the show.
It's always a pleasure.
Hope we have a good one today.
I'm sure we will.
Okay, straight to the topic of today. Is it really necessary for young people? And of course, not wasting any time, I think we need to get down to this and get to understand, is it really necessary? And if necessary, at what age? And maybe we have different definitions to what a young person is and all that. Starting with our guests, let's first get to know. Amza, according to this question that we are asking ourselves, because this is a question that has come up, it is on the ground. I think you also wonder, maybe you see some youth involved and then you are like, but this one is still very young.
Yeah.
And then my question comes to you as, what do you consider a young person, or the type of young person, what do you consider to be a young teenager or a young person to you?
Well, to me, basically, a teenager is already a young person.
Okay.
But when they talk about a young person in general, what I look at is like the age of 18, as in from 18 to 25.
Okay. Relationship-wise?
As in romantic relationship?
Yes.
Young is 20. Yeah, because 18 is too young. You're in high school, and maybe right out of high school, you're still too young to be involved into a romantic relationship, according to me. Yeah.
So your range of being young relationship-wise is in which range?
From 20 years old to 25.
Okay. So that is Amza's perspective of the young teenagers here. And then let's go to my host here and see, Pretty, whom do you consider young in a relationship? As in, which range do you think is considered a young age in a relationship?
A young age, first of all, before I tackle any other area, anyone who is below the age of 18 is young.
Okay.
And should not be going anywhere
Close.
to relationships.
Okay.
Yeah. To me, anyone below the age of 18 is way too young for that.
Then, you people, are you aware that we have a very big population below the age of 18? Because the range you people are giving, it's almost the same. 20 according to Amza, and then 18 according to Pretty. 18, 20, almost the same age. Yes? And then, are you aware that majority of the people below that age are usually in high school, and we have this thing happening in high school?
Of course.
So, what do you think about it? Do you think it's very wrong, or to some point it's right? Maybe people should practice a little bit, not the whole of it. Like a little bit, they get some experience. By the time they get out, maybe they have a hint. Just a question.
Well, from my point of view, I honestly think it's a mistake, because like there's no need to practice even a little bit.
Okay.
Because if you're below 18, you don't really know what you're doing. Okay. When you hit puberty, your hormones are on fire.
Yeah, very
You feel
hot.
like revolting and doing things, on your own. Huh? So you have your mind, like a mind of your own, basically. It can't be stopped, no matter what parents do or what brothers or sisters do. So it's something that is natural. It's bound to happen. But from my point of view, it's a mistake, because you're just going to mess up.
So at the end of the day, I think from mistakes we learn. If you don't make mistakes, then you won't learn anything. So is it a mistake that it's okay to be made so we learn from it, or we have to avoid that mistake, and if we avoid it, then we shall not learn? What do you think about that?
It's more like a necessary evil.
Okay.
Like
So we should do
It's-
it at some point.
it's wrong.
Okay.
It can be stopped, and it helps us to learn. As in, we learn from it.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And then also, maybe if I can proceed pretty, do you think we should do a little bit of it maybe in high school? Because the age you're talking about, 18. By 18, majority of the youth are almost coming out of high school. But then if we look at the people in high school, majority around S2, S1, usually they are not really into this. But S2 up to something like S5, S6, these kids usually practice dating, whether the school wants it or they don't. They sometimes even do it behind, the rules and everything, and nobody knows. The school tries to fight it, but nothing is really being effective. So, what do you think? Do you think they should be let to do maybe limited? Maybe they just become friends, get to know each other deeper and all that without practicing the extreme.
Thank you, Saiba. First of all, you were saying sometimes it's against the school rules. It's
Yeah.
always against the school rules.
Okay.
I don't believe there's a school that will stand and openly
Yes.
say you're allowed to date.
Yeah.
The scenario you gave is a good one. If people would just become friends and just get to know each
Extra a
other,
little.
would be fine. But the problem is these minds are young
Yeah.
and are very inquisitive and are very curious
Yeah.
to try out anything. So that's why I'm calling them young, because they're not at a level where they can control themselves, where they can say, my mind is telling me to do this, but because of ABCD, I'm going to put it aside. They're at an age where what my mind tells me to do is what I'm going after. Like you said, at that age, people have a mind of their own, and they want to try out everything that comes.
Yeah, sure.
So, in my view, I really think because of that issue, if they would, but they can't.
They can't.
They can't because their minds are young.
No. What if we
The-
teach them, like, it's a child, to me, it depends on what you teach. If you tell them, maybe you become, because relationship, I think they have different levels. Yeah? There is what I've seen around, it's like there is boyfriend, girlfriend. There are limits to that, right? There is what young boyfriend, girlfriend do and all that. Like, they're just friends, they get to know each other, they talk on a daily basis. If he has a problem, they support each other, and maybe like they get to know each other more and more. You get my point? But then they don't really go an extra mile of maybe doing sexual intercourse and all that. You get? That is now an extra mile beyond that. What if people are able to maintain it at the level of boyfriend, girlfriend level, and there is no extra step being taken? Do you find it healthy?
Well, like she said, those young people have a very inquisitive mind, huh?
Okay.
And well, okay, before they become boyfriend, girlfriend, of course, first they would have to become friends first.
Yeah, sure.
So once they become friends, getting used to each other, that company, they decide to start a romantic relationship.
They add
And-
something.
Yeah, because at some point, one will feel attracted to the other. He'll feel like doing certain things to the other. You see, it's uncontrollable. It's natural,
Okay.
and with them not having control over that, it's very unhealthy.
It's very unhealthy. And if we can also hear Pretty's view, do you think that would work, or you also think
I think it would not work.
At
Why? Because you're saying that, but the problem is not that they won't be able to listen or what. The age they're in is the problem.
so?
The age they're in is an age where they feel like they just want to explore and discover and,
Try out new things.
and try. It's a very curious age. So the problem is not that they won't listen or they won't be able to do that. The problem is that the age they're in will not allow them to do that. So the best option is to just stay away from it.
And then now you if you talk about that, I see all of you, it's like you have the same view to some point. But then we've seen kids who attend mixed schools and those who attend single schools. Yes?
What do you mean by they should leave?
Living
Like
as if
they're
you're
in
in
a
a single school. This is what I'm trying to say.
A question. I see where you're leading. Let us self-tag. You mean there is no way you can live in a place and have male company minus being in a relationship with them?
While you are in adolescence,
Yes.
it's, I don't know. The thing is, once you are in, while you are an adolescent, you are sexually active, right?
Yeah.
The hormones, as you, the two of you have really also already brought up about to the point of being so active. You really want to discover stuff. No, you have these friends around you. Yes, they are the female male friends, and then you're telling me that I'm just experiencing these changes in my body and everything. Don't you think at one point we shall discuss it, and then I discover that there is one way or the other that I might benefit from your changes, you'd benefit from my changes, and you find we are cooperating on something which might not be important.
Not really. The reason why I'm not encouraging, I do not know how the whole thought of having single schools came up. I do not know, but I feel like, okay, I would not support it, or I would not take my child to a single school.
Okay, why?
Regardless, I'm not supporting relationships at a high school level. But again, I would not take my child to a single school. Why? It is when God was creating people, when we look at the human existence, we have both the male gender and the female gender.
Female.
Okay? And the child that you're putting in a single school is going to go out of the single school and is going to attend college and is going to start working, and she's not going to only find that the female gender or
Going to
only
meet
the male
everyone.
gender. So the only reason as to why I think it's important to have my child in such a community is to experience a normal community that she's going to experience out there. I don't want to limit her, and then when she reaches out, she's
She goes
freaked
nuts,
out
yeah.
with interacting with
you still
with the male
bring
gender.
me a question is, now, do you think dating is not part of the normal environment?
At a certain age, it's not supposed to. People have taken it to be normal, but it's not supposed to be normal at a certain age. And Saiba, I'm going to come back to this once again. Having male company does not necessarily mean that you have to engage in romantic relationships with them.
If you do it more, this is normal, like on the ground, even if we don't just beat around the bush. This is it.
I'm not beating around the bush. I'm just being realistic. There's a mindset that people have set, and I think it's possible.
Okay.
It's not a must.
How is it
to all.
possible you to move with, let's say you are a female,
Yes.
you move with boys, or as if you are exchanging what? Your dresses and everything, and you tell me that all these are your friends. So, we've seen this on the ground. You find a girl has very many friends who are male more than the female. You get my point?
Yes.
Or a male who has more females than the male. Now you tell me that this person, there is nothing going on with even one of them. You get my point? It's very hard for you to convince me.
The problem why it's very hard to convince is because it's the mindset you have.
Okay, so
But then there's reality out here. Yeah,
But also,
there's
if I may-
reality. There's reality out here. Say, but I'm not maybe going to ask you for a specific number, but you have female friends
yeah,
and a number of them.
not a very big number.
Not a very big number,
A normal number.
a normal number. Does it mean for you to be a friend to every one of them, you have to date at a certain point?
No, not really, but they are not. There is this thing you have very many around you than the normal number that you're supposed to have.
What is the normal number? What do you mean? Is there a specific?
There is something you are looking for. Amza, what do you think about that?
I think on that specific point,
Yeah.
Pretty is being biased.
Okay, I like that.
Because let's say a female, a girl, huh? Okay, not a teenager, maybe she's 20 years old. She has control in everything. She's been through all that stuff, huh?
Yeah.
All the stages. If she surrounds herself with, male company, at some point she's bound to get closer to one of them
Yeah.
than the others. Because she'll maybe like his characters, his physique maybe, you see? There is bound to be an attraction. So, okay, yeah, I don't oppose,
Naturally, by the way.
it's
will happen.
natural. So I don't oppose the fact that, there can be friendship between a guy and a girl. I'm all for that. But at some point, somewhere, you'll find that person who's just special to you.
Okay.
some way.
Now this is where the misunderstanding comes
Okay.
in. I did not say
Mhm.
that that will not happen, because then you'll have issues. Then you will not be normal, because at a certain age, like you say, every age comes along with its own.
Yeah.
Every stage in life comes along with its own. Okay, and you go through that. You might get attracted to them. You might be a girl or a guy, and you have more female company than male company, or I might be a lady and I have more male company than female company. That won't fail to happen.
Yeah.
But what I can do and what I can control is avoiding what I can do with what my age is coming along with. And the best way to avoid that is to avoid getting into any romantic relationship with any of those. Because when you get in a relationship with someone, you are giving them a certain right to you that some people do not have.
Exactly.
But if you block that out, regardless of the fact that you have more male company or more female company with you, the fact that you block out that and all of them are in the same zone, you're going to avoid what we will be talking about in a few minutes ahead, that maybe comes along with the dangers or the negativities that come along with dating at a young age.
Of course, we shall
That's,
also talk
that's
about
exactly my point. You see? Like I said, it's something natural,
Yeah, it's natural.
and you can't fight what's natural.
You
Yeah.
cannot.
that. Like
Yes,
that.
fine. Let's say, for example, you're being attracted to someone,
Yeah.
but then you're blocking it, as in you're limiting yourself to a certain point.
You're trying to stop nature from
Exactly.
taking its.
But you can only do it for so long. Because at some point, you're bound to crack.
When you're bound to cry,
To crack. As
To
in,
crack.
to lose control.
should I call it losing control?
Okay, losing that ability to
Do
resist.
you know what, Amza?
Yeah.
This happens, but do you know that it really does not last? Do you know that at a certain age you get past that stage?
Yes.
So why not be patient? After all, it's not going to last. Get past that stage, go on with life, and when the time is right, you get into what you're supposed to get into with a purpose.
Huh.
The question might come in and say, how sure are you that you're going to get to that age? That is the question that someone is watching
How
and they
sure are you
will
that
be
you're going
asking.
to?
Yeah, because someone will tell you, you know something, when you get 30, you'll be allowed to do that. And someone's like, okay, I've seen some of my friends even pass away before they reach 30. And imagine I get off earth, not even dating a single person. You get?
I don't think that's a loss.
It's to some people.
Oh yeah. It
To
is a
nature
loss.
it is.
Okay, let me ask you a question that maybe is going to lead to what we're going to discuss. Saiba, what is the purpose of dating to you?
Personally, okay, I have my own personal.
Because you were trying to bring in your personal view the whole time, so let me just break the door open for you.
It's okay.
What is the purpose?
No, I don't find it very important to share my
You
personal.
know the reason I asked you? The reason I asked is because you said if someone died before dating any person, it would be a loss.
But anyway,
So which
let me
means-
share it with you.
It's okay.
Now, so there are very many reasons one would be dating at a young age, not at the very young age, because I also have a definition of being young. There are kids who I also look at and I'm like, no, I think you're making a very big mistake. Even when I was still in high school, I would tell someone like, please wait. I think it's not yet time. But I'm saying, There are different reasons why someone would be dating. One, someone would be getting exposed. Yes, you get to know how the females react, or how you react. Because if you don't date, to some point you don't know that females usually, when you talk to them so much, maybe they react in this way, they react in this way. But someone who has been in the dating scene for a while, he gets to understand the female gender to some point. Yes, and then at the end of the day, once you settle down and you really want to like get married, get a fiance and all that, it's not usually such a hard step to make. But imagine it's your first time getting in the dating scene and you are like, okay, so I need to get a wife. And it's your first time, you don't even know what to do. And it's such a big challenge. I've seen some of my friends who are older than me find it a very big challenge. You get my point? But all now I have to decide, even after this episode, by the I will review, also look at what we talked about and make that decision. When should someone really start to do the dating and all that? But all I know, dating, while it's not necessarily about marriage, to some point I don't find it a problem. As long as you don't go and a step extra and you take some steps which are uncontrollable and might have an effect on your future.
So your main point is experience.
Experience is key.
That's a very good point. And it's really...
You don't believe in it?
I believe what you just said, and it's really true. But in life, most of the times, in order for you to get one good thing, you have to sacrifice the other.
There is always
Actually, when you want better, you might sacrifice the good for the better. Okay? Now, Saiba, the reason why I'm insisting people should not be engaging in dating at such a young age, not at a time when their mind is ready for marriage, is because...
The age you stated is 18 and above, after high school specifically.
Yeah. I said, I gave an estimation. There are people who are 18 and mentally
Very stable.
they are still very 10-year-old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or
We shall discuss that
15-year-olds.
in detail.
Yeah. So I try to estimate. It's a rare case though, but I try to estimate at least. Yeah. So the reason why I'm saying this is because you might be saying you'll be able to control yourself and be able to know what to do and what not to do, but some people are such children that they can't.
While
At that age.
At 18.
Yes. So what I'm saying is, why not avoid the whole thing? Because Saiba, you might go thinking, I'll go and have self-control, I'll know what to do and know what not to do. But like I said, sometimes the age will control you, no matter how many principles you've gone with. So how about you avoid what might lead you into that mistake? Because after all, there's going to be a time that you're going to be very sure that you can make those decisions and stick by them when you passed the other edge that is actually pushing you. So why not avoid that until you're at that edge when you're sure that you can manage your emotions and control them and not accept to be pushed everywhere your body is going to be pushing you to go. And then when the time is right, you freely and, with no stress,
Do everything.
go into it with a purpose. Because past 18, most people know what they want in life by then, and are focused and are able to make decisions and stick by then. Yeah, so that's what I was specifically saying. If people will be able to control themselves, fine. But the problem is the age is an issue. At that age, it's very hard to have self-control. So let's just leave it.
So before we leave it, we are coming back to it in detail. So Amza, for you, if you were to ask the same question that she just posed, what would you think is the purpose of dating at an early age? Because at the right age, we all know it is about you are trying to get a fiancé, get married and all that. So the question is, at a young age, what would be the purpose of that?
According to me, like you said, I would say experience, and also getting to know different people on a personal level. Because once you get to know how, let's say, Pretty reacts, and then let's say another girl called Sarah, or maybe another girl called.
And by the way, they are also gaining experience about how
guys react.
It's not just that the guys are So both are gaining out of the relationship. Yeah.
So basically, at a young age, it's just about experience, getting to know how the process goes.
Yeah.
Practicing. Yeah, and experience mainly. That's all.
Which is the key. I think we need it to prepare now for the right time.
Like you said, at a certain age, you have to think about, like getting a fiance,
Yeah.
building a family, and all that. And if you have no background, if you have no base, then what are you really going to do?
You will just mess up at one point. So thank you very much for being part of the show. I think if we are to wrap up with the show, I think everything that we've shared here today, it's about this early or teenagers getting involved into dating. I think our viewers will learn one or two, and we shall be uploading this video, of course, on YouTube. So even after 20 years, you will come back and learn one or two. And not forgetting that even after this episode, we plan to have a part 2 of this very good episode, and we might have same guests and co-hosts, of course, on board, and doing it better. So join us next time as we also discuss other more topics here on the Table Talk Show. Thank you very much, Hamza Ruganyira, for joining us and sharing your opinion about each and everything that we talked about today. Hope you join us even in part 2.
Gladly.
So, and also thanking my co-host, and that is Kansiime Pretty. Thank you for being such an engaging co-host today.
Thank you for hosting us today.
It was a pleasure. So there is what we shared here on the show today to some point which was somehow personal, and just use it responsibly so that you don't attack any of the members here, and keep following us as we keep up with the Table Talk Show.